so yes.
Did you receive this letter on or around May 24, 2016?
Okay, next page, please. Hang on. Yes, it was around that time.
Around May 24, 2016?
Yes.
Did you have any communications with Samantha Spector in connection with this letter?
Yes.
And when you say within days, could it have been the same day, May 24th, the next day, 25th?
Possibly.
I'm going to direct your attention to the next paragraph. It says, to this end, please have Johnny promptly sign and return by Friday, May 27, 2016, the enclosed notice of acknowledgement receipt form, confirming service of the summons, petition, law, case cover sheet, and blank response. Did you do that?
This letter was not directed to me, Elaine.
No, I understand it, but it was given to you, correct?
I believe so.
And you were representing Mr. Depp, correct?
Yes.
And Mr. Bloom did not represent Mr. Depp in connection with the divorce, correct?
Correct.
So once Mr. Bloom gave this to you, then did you represent Mr. Depp going forward in communications with Samantha Spector?
Once we received this letter, our firm took over with representation of Mr. Depp in the dissolution action. I cannot recall whether or not the request made was done by Friday, May 27th, but I believe that it was. Probably have that notice and acknowledgement of receipt somewhere with a date on it.
Now, the next section, I think, is something that you referred to earlier. It said, in addition, we are requesting on Amber's behalf the following. And it says appropriate pendente light support. Did you have an understanding of what that amount might be at the time that you saw this letter?
I did not have an understanding of what appropriate pendente lite support would be at that time.
Did you ask Samantha Spector?
I don't recall. I don't recall our specific communications regarding her requests.
Do you recall making any kind of counter to any of these items?
All I recall is that without any notice to us at 8:30 in the morning on the 27th, Samantha Spector and her client went into court and obtained a no-notice ex parte restraining order.
Had you had any communications with Samantha Spector prior to her going into court on that Friday, May 27th?
Yes.
How many communications had you had with Ms. Spector prior, following getting this letter and prior to her going into court at 8:30 on May 27, 2016?
I do not recall.
Do you have a recollection of whether any of the communications that you had with Ms. Spector between the receipt of this letter that's dated May 24, 2016, and Ms. Spector going into court on Friday, May 27, 2016, related in any way to requests on your behalf, on behalf of your client that you made?
No.
You recall having communications with Samantha Spector between May 24 and May 27. You can't recall how many, and you can't recall the specifics of those communications. Is that accurate?
It's not accurate.
And in what way? Please tell me.
I recall that we had communications between the 24th and probably the 26th. I doubt we spoke on the morning of the 27th before she went into court. I do not know the content of those communications, and I do not know how many communications were had.
Now, on the next paragraph, it has a proposal for private retired judicial officers. Ultimately, did you and Ms. Spector talk about using private retired judicial officers, whether it was the list she provided or any others?
I believe so, yes.
And what do you recall?
My recollection is that is in almost all of our cases, certainly those with high-profile clients, we would have liked to take it out of the system. Ms. Spector was not willing to do that with this case.
What do you recall Ms. Spector saying to indicate that she did not want to take it out of the public spectrum?
I don't recall her saying anything.
Okay. Now, after your understanding was that a CLETS DVTRO was in fact obtained on Friday, May 27, 2016 by Ms. Heard against Mr. Depp, correct?
That is my understanding.
After that, did there come a time that you or anyone at your law firm communicated with the Eastern Columbia Building concierge staff or management?
Was those the downtown lofts?
The penthouse lofts, yes. And if it's easier for you, everyone's been referring to the Eastern Columbia Building as ECB. Would that be helpful at all?
Sure.
Or we can, if you prefer to call them the penthouse loft building, that's fine too.
Now that we've identified them, I understand what you're talking about. We can call them whatever you'd like. Did someone from my firm speak with somebody at those buildings? Yes.
And who from your firm spoke with someone at the buildings and when?
I believe either I did or my partner Samantha Klein or an associate who was also working on the case, Lisa Sutton from our firm. We also had co-counsel on the case. They may have been involved. As to when, I have to imagine it was sometime in June or July of 2016.
No, you indicated either you or Samantha Klein or Lisa Sutton, and you also had co-counsel. Do you have a specific record